Good morning, thank you very much. More than some opening words, we prepared a short presentation here. First of all, Ms. Vice Minister Laveau, Professor Benjamin Cassan, invited experts, students, citizens for the Ministry of the Environment. It is an honor to be able to be in this area, in this space of conversation that are very constructive and very necessary, that have been in function for several years, and we have begun work for investigation and research with KLT Network, the embassy, the German and French embassies. Thank you very much for this space and for allowing us to be here. The purpose of my presentation is not to touch about the results that the IPCC has to tell us about, but my main purpose is to show you all the context of the public policy, the economic instruments, and a bit of the state of the art of climate change here in Colombia. Just a brief presentation. We'll go ahead and begin. This first is to show the situation we are currently facing, the global context of climate change. What we are doing on a national level here in Colombia. We have the Paris Accord, which is signed the 21st of 2007. We have the commitment by all the countries that are NDCs. And Colombia starts to generate information. I believe that it is very important for us to start seeing how there are elements that exist for a bigger purpose to improve the decision-making process, which is something that we need to work on. In the use of soil, food security is very important. I believe that the vice principal has told us about the complexity that a country such as Colombia is going to have to face, that is currently facing, that is going to face in the upcoming decades. I have the third national communication. It is our third report of this kind. It is a report that contemplates scenarios for increase of temperature, scenarios, increase of population pollution, and we also have these for the departments and the regional and the national aggregate for emissions. We also have the multiplicity factor for decision making, not only in research but also for local governments as departments and municipalities. So we have tools today to make decisions in our territories, to make decisions for private sector investment, and we need to have areas for better implication, better diffusion for these tools for decision making. So this was to say that we have started to see better relation with the governance for climate change and the information that the science can give us on a global, national level. We have the climate change policy law 1931 of 2019, which is the general law for management of climate change and strategic tools and planning for management and planning of our woods and forests. This slide, I like this slide a lot because it tells a story in relation to the effort that this Colombian state has carried out as a state project. There's an appropriation for climate change. It is a story that begins roughly in 2010, where you have all the heritage that the Kyoto Protocol has left over, our country in the ML. We had a secondary role in that global fight, and we started to gradually evolve our institutions by creating all of this regulatory framework, and sometimes that is very costly for the civil society and the academia to understand the resources that is necessary for this kind of management. Is complex, it takes time, and obviously Colombia has been doing this task very decidedly. Today we have a policy and we have a law for that purpose as well. We've gone through Congress, we've had two tax reforms that have contemplated the greenhouse gas emissions through a carbon-based tax, and we have a system, a national system where there are institutions converging, but also academia, private sector, to promote the use of climate change in the sector. This goes to say that we have been carrying out institutional preparation and construction of capacities to be able to face this challenge. As well, we have been making decisions, and Colombia is the third country in Latin America that has an instrument for fixing the rates of its emissions, and it is the only one in Latin America today, and it is an example for others as well, because we have started a very fruitful regional talk about use of fossil fuels and their carbon emissions and the likes, and that is the context as such, and you all can see how we have passed from being political instruments as the compass documents to much more specific elements, such as fixing the prices. This meeting for today is bringing attention to the reports, to the information, to the data that is being generated, to what the science has to tell the decision makers on a government level, but also on different levels, the consumers as well, and our investors. One of the most useful and most recent tools, the most updated one, is the second biannual update, which is a BUR, or a biannual update report. You're going to find a lot of useful information regarding the emissions, what kind of projects we've implemented for mitigation or mitigation actions, and climate change management, and the transparency. The Paris Agreement as such has something which is called the transparency framework, which invites us to communicate in an open manner all of the decisions that are being made, all of the investment being carried out, and the policies that are being implemented. This is one of the tools that is open. It is posted on the EDM website, the institute that is in charge of these type of documentation. So we are omitting this document and sharing it, that way everybody gets to know it. And as far as climate change policies, we can see the strategic working areas that are effectively the management of ecosystems. This is fundamental for a mega diverse country that is in the road, or in the path of development, and it is a country that is going to continue increasing its emissions. It is a country that is facing very important challenges for the consolidation of peace and growth in general, and consolidating agenda with all the complexities that a mega diverse country, not only in ecosystems but also in social situations that we have on our hands, and we can see that expressed in the strategic areas of the policies and the instrumental areas as well. And for this event in particular, we would like to highlight that education, investigation, research, science, and technology are all considered as critical guidelines. There's no way to implement this if the science does not accompany it. This is something that the national government has stated. It is in our general framework. If we do not have data, if we do not have teams that are informing of our decisions, it is going to be very complex to implement this policy. We have the framework instruments that can finance these ideas, but we need to build better capacity as far as being understand from the scientific point of view the decisions that need to be made to implement this policy.
Al mismo nivel que los instrumentos de financiamiento y que los instrumentos de planificación.
That is why it is on the same levels of financing, and now we'd like to look at the elements for the Paris Agreement, and we want to see the three main elements, the three main commitments. We have three commitments, and we're going to start looking through them. The first one effectively is to reduce their carbon emissions by 20% by 2030. This makes us reflect a bit in regard the position that Colombia has for 2030, and it takes us a bit of the 2021, and it makes us think. It makes us put this and relate this with OESs. For example, we have an document that has been taken in this commitment, and we want to see how we're going to lead the country into a lower carbon emissions. It also has international cooperation. This means that if we receive enough international cooperation, we would be able to decrease by another 10% by 2030. What does this mean? Colombia for 2010, we were emitting roughly 210,000 tons. For 2030, the projection is to reach roughly 33 million tons, and we want to reduce by 60 million tons for that year. It is a huge effort. It is a huge effort, an effort that has been accumulated 10 years ago, surpass over 700 million tons that have been accumulated. And what I'm trying to say is that it's very ambitious. There are a lot of questions. Okay, could it have been more? Could it have been less? I believe that the decision was made with the help of the university, a lot of students, a lot of information. We can see the commitment that Colombia has with the world in this economy that is developing, and recognizing that we have received cooperation agendas from countries that are implicated in this project in Colombia. The component of that adaptation, this one is very important as well as far as mitigation. Colombia is one of the most vulnerable countries in the region. It is a mega diverse country, has many different ecosystems that are very sensitive and exposed to climate change. We have the goals that have been set here, and we would like to highlight our commitment as far as adapting sectors, agro-industrial sectors. This has come from the national government with the issue that is on our hands today, which is how to change the value of agro-industry and the
valor y las cadenas de logística que llevan esos alimentos
that we produce in the logistic chains and that allow the exportations. How are those going to be affected by the extreme climate effects? We are very highly vulnerable, and we have been primarily working with the food, milk, cacao, palm unions, and looking how we can deal with transportation and the implication for the consumers. That way we can start making decisions in regards to those products that are fundamental to the Colombian economy. We also have areas for protected lands and wetlands. We have an increase of over 2 million hectares of protected areas and national parks with huge goals. We don't want to only declare them, we have to finance them, we have to maintain them, and we have to look at conditions for stabilization and bringing peace to those areas. So yes, we could have more, of course, we could have more, but it is important to maintain the ones that we already have. That is part of the commitment that the country has subscribed, and we have also included variables for climate change and the strategic strategy of the country. Some of these goals are very well advanced. We have issues through national communication. You can also figure out the state of the progress of these goals and the academia and the implication of these goals and how we can find the fulfillment of these goals. Also, the NDES, if Colombia has a commitment as far as implementation methods, and these also have a direct tie with the OEDS agenda. They have an urgent call to developing countries to have Sur-Sur cooperation. The characteristics of our country are very particular. We admire heavily the Western science, and we share the Amazons with Brazil, Peru, Ecuador, and we have to have more dynamic dialogue with countries that share ecosystems with us, for example, or that also have similar issues that Colombia, like the ones that Colombia is facing, coordination and integration is work, and they are words that are permanently in the governmental offices because they are fundamental. We need to align our policy. We need to make decisions that are coherent in a variety of variables that society has told us are not easy. And the two parts of coordination and integration look like two icons, but I would believe they are the biggest challenges. And further ahead, we have a couple slides where I would simply like to leave points for reflection for the forum in regard to the challenges that a government and a state such as Colombia has to be able to orient and implement policies, and the ODS as such could be interpreted as contradicting. As such, we have very important commitments to take care of maritime and land sanctuaries and also access to water. So how are we going to face that in countries where we have challenges and gaps that Colombia or the Latin American region has on its hands? And that decision is not easy, and that is why science is fundamental for us to be very precise. There isn't any area for mistakes, any space for mistakes, and returning to the 80s and 90s. And no, we know that that is not the best path, so we have to once again go back and do it again. So the IPCC in its last report, it said, all right, there's not that much time, gentlemen, and if we don't make the correct decisions, there isn't going to be enough. We're going to achieve the 2021 commitments in the OES. So I would like to show you part of the information that the last BUR is giving us. Those are the emissions from Colombia. We can see the important influence. The green are the agricultural and use of land emissions. We see a lot of participation from those regions, primarily due to deforestation and the expansion of our agricultural horizons, if you will, and that is what's been happening since the 90s up to this day. And evidently the concern is this, that Colombia's reality is, okay, what are we going to do with deforestation? We have an issue, we have to deal with it, we have to detain it. But with the characteristics that Colombia has, the national government warns that it isn't the only concern, because this is an issue that we have in the future. We have to deal with the reality of emissions and agriculture and the use of soils, but not to lose the perspective of where our country is headed. We're going to have very large urban areas that are growing and large transportation centers and thermal energy due to the situations that the country is living, with the most important hydraulic projects as far as energy and transportation. Urban and residues are all concerned for the management today, and very important issues for the future, and that is why the sciences and the universities are important. What kind of order we're going to have in Colombia 2030, or how are our transportation and residue systems going to work in 2050. So that is the invitation. There's a lot of research to be done, a lot of information that we need to find, and a lot of issues that we have to deal with, and a lot of problems that are going to arrive in the future.
Este es un resumen, digamos, del perfil de emisiones.
This is some summary of the emission profile. Colombia shows that the activities for deforestation, activities associated with management of natural forests and planted areas, a main source of the GEI through 24 years. This shows where the priorities have been. We are a forest country. We're over 50 million hectares of the continental area are forests. So where are forest capacities of the country? What kind of decisions have been made in that direction, in that path, and how do all the citizens recognize ourselves as part of a forest country. It's also important to generate awareness for our citizens. In that regard, generally, you participate in the forums in Bogota, and we ask how much forest you have here. And generally, they don't know how many hectares or how many. We have 110, 114,000 hectares, and of those 50, they are forests. And what percentage are affected? So we have an indicator that is positive. 3 of the 4 parts, and in Colombia, we are 1 of 4. So it means that we have very important potential. We have critical potential. We have deforestation rates which are concerning, but we have very important resources to protect, and we also have the missionality of recognizing ourselves as citizens of a forest country. That is something that the national government and the environmental justice are working on. These are the data from 2014, the emissions. We can see how they roughly 54% of our emissions have been accumulating. Where 20% of that is to deforestation and management of natural forests and planted forests, replanted. So it is important to also talk about reabsorption. We have close to 22 million tons that were absorbed in 2014. With all those, it has been, since 2016, this was study, the services as such, the coverage of forest areas that are provided to the Colombian people that absorb the greenhouse gases. We have a reduction of 10% in the last years. Constantly, could it be more? Yes, obviously, could it be more? We have emissions. 7% of natural forests that are still remaining. That is also due to deforestation. We have to make decisions not to deforest, but also to increase the capabilities of the systems that are left behind to avoid deterioration. This isn't the only sector. We also have to look at the agricultural sectors, mines and energy, transportation, and all of these are very important, and they all contribute to the goals of reduction. We also have a commitment. It isn't only the forestry or the environmental services, as the convention has suggested through what the IPCC suggests, let's have goals for all of the economic sectors. Let's not exclude sectors. We cannot open areas to have emissions skip through. We have to manage all of our sectors of emissions. We have to look at the carbon emissions as well. This is one of the exercises that has generated the most controversy or conflict and conversation in the country. On the left-hand side, you can see how the IPCC looks at us and the emissions, and on this right hand, we can see what we have called economic sectors. So, for example, what we consider as emissions in the Colombian economy. It is very simple to see how all of these different sectors affect. For example, in mines and energy, but also in the agriculture. So this is a way to look at the practices, or leave aside the practices saying, hey, the issues in mine, it's X person that is responsible for the majority of it. No, here we can see that we all are partially responsible, and that is why deforestation is everybody's issue, and the energy inefficiency is everybody's issue, and the management of our chains of value and our industrial processes are also very important for all of us. This is one of the most concerning figures, is the deforestation between 2016 and 2017. We went from 178,000 hectares deforested to 2019. That is an increase of 23%, and this is to say that it is obviously a very big issue. It is a situation which is a priority for the national government, and Essentially, it is a call to all of the actors, private, citizen sectors, all of the different sectors, and to recognize this as an issue the country has advanced abundantly in this. Shows us the indicators have to be published, and we have to share the numbers and the figures. Once was a student that was saying, hey, do you imagine what 219,000 hectares are? I mean, it's a ton. It's a ton. It's an area that is much larger than several countries, several European countries, and even some small Central American governments, countries. It is a very concerning area. It is a very concerning rate as well. And if we continue with that rate, it would heavily affect the environment that we will see the effects today. And we will talk about the IPCC and the reservoir, the carbon reservoir, which is the Amazons, and see how that would be affected with one of these rates. It is a figure that is accompanied as well with situations that we are witnessing in the region. We have a Brazilian government that is taking are making very complex decisions in regard to management of the Amazons, and it is very important for the experts to know and for science to warn the impacts of the situation and basically the message in the debate. The governments, we not only have the responsibility of my direction, is responsible for the COP21. We can also not forget about 2030 and how we are organizing ourselves with these. This is an image that is very common within everybody, and it is shared by the Stockholm Institute, and where the ODS is ordered for society, economy, society, and biosphere, and where we can see all the different little pieces into the puzzle that you have to put in order to make a decision to make sure that all these objectives are fulfilled. And on the other hand, we have this other way of looking at the issue, which is the economics of ecosystems and biodiversity model, where many of these objectives are based on decision making. We have a more sustainable point of view in how we deal with our environment and keeping in mind the biosphere. And then here we have a bit more prosperity, dignity, and justice point of view, and about people and equality, equity, because we also see that food security and nutritional diversity with the different indicators have a lot to do with equality. And so we can put this in the context of a country that is in development and stabilization of conflict, and how we are going to fulfill this. Today's question is how, and we have the instruments, we have the basis, and now let's look at what's going to happen. A very, very short conclusions for what COP24 in Katowice left us. We had a special report, IPCC 1.5 degrees, very resounding issues from the Arabic group, and it is distance from the science, where we do not welcome the IPCC report as part of the decisions that the convention is making. It is a very concerning point in time for the people that are more on the political side of it to see that we still have distances from the science. Colombia has always shown that they are ready to appropriate and accept the science. That is an honor for the IPCC personnel. We're in Cali in the CIA, and today we received them in the University of Rosario. And we need to set the example, because the world didn't do it. In the Talanoa dialogue, we also had very strong reactions from China. We have much more dynamic chats with the private sector and indigenous platform. We need more players, parties implied here, and the message wasn't very motivating. The rule book for the Accord of Paris is closed, and we have a lot of NDCs, framework for transparency, and the last article that needs to be dealt with, Article 6, which talks about the exchange of mitigation in countries. We are not in agreement. We are very distant, and there's a very strong agenda with the emerging economies for the use of mitigation of the pre-2020, the efforts that were carried out in Kyoto. We are trying to implement those in Paris.
And there it's actually important that we need to know in the university what are these impact on this in an economy like Colombia and so on, with one of the most, the greater economies and so on, with tons of ones, and the ML in Brazil that is trying to actually put them there with the Paris Accord. What's going to happen? And then we have there climate change is actually the key ones is the way in which the convention, the IPCC and Colombia, we have found the way of eliminating the efforts there to adapt there so that we can reduce the ones we need, the public ones, the innovation, science and technology are always there. You don't have to take them lightly. They're actually very key to be there because innovation is there because we don't know how to articulate an agenda for the year 2030. So the university is key in this and involving the private sectors on a long-term view. We're actually imagining countries into the 2050 or by the end of the century. So I don't want to extend myself anymore. I'm very grateful for your attention. I'm very thankful for having this gathering, and from the Ministry of the Environment and Climate Change, from the ministry, we're all too pleased to have interactions that are dynamic with the university, with the students and civil society. Thank you very much.